day long.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the Looper King, aka Danish Pete, aka Mr. Peter Honore. And welcome back to another episode of Andertons TV.
Yes, I'm Pete.
Yes, I'm the captain.
Allow myself to introduce myself. That's the one, isn't it? It's like, what?
Where we are playing around with the new Boss Looper, the RC-5. It's basically second one up in the range of the Boss range. So you've got RC-1 is the most simplistic, compact.
Loop.
RC-5, which replaces the old RC-3. And then a little bit later on, actually in a subsequent video, we're going to look at the new RC-500, which kind of again replaces the old RC-30. And just so that we can kind of talk about different loopers and how they function differently, I've also got an RC-1 here. And an RC-10R.
They're all red. It's very confusing.
They're all red. So what you heard in that video that Pete was doing was the drums and the basic loop facility is coming from the new RC-5.
Yeah.
We put bass lines on by using the new OC5 octave pedal.
Awesome.
Synth from the SY1.
Awesome.
And any distortions and reverbs and stuff from Pete's normal board.
Yeah. I mean, it's all you need really for, it's so much fun. So much fun. But so what's the upgrades on this Lee then?
Yes.
So because it's been upgraded quite a lot.
Yes, it has.
And at a standard where it's the highest.
Yeah. So RC3 and RC30, which are the two outgoing loopers, have been in the Boss catalogue for something crazy like 10 years, which, technology-wise is forever.
Yeah.
But if we sort of focus mainly on what do you get on an RC5 over and above what you get on the RC1, so kind of like what's the upgrade?
Yeah.
The big upgrade in RC5, which actually is over RC3 as well, is it's now a 32-bit engine. That's
96 kilohertz, right?
Yeah. So that now puts it way above the RC1 and the old RC3. It also puts it above the TC Ditto Looper Plus.
Yeah.
Meaning that sense sometimes that when you've got a looper at the end of your board and it just doesn't sound quite as good as when you just take the looper completely out the board, hopefully now is a distant memory.
Yeah, it's also about it's probably 1080p, 4K. So you get much more within your. You can put much more into the pedal. So the more loops you do on top of each other, it'll sound much clearer, and you get much more definition throughout your. So if you have 50 pedals going into the looper, you could do potentially 50 layers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it still be clear and clean.
Other stuff that you get on your RC5 that you don't get on the RC1 he says, looking at his notes, there are drums in the RC5. A relatively simplistic drum set of drum options here. Certainly not as fully featured as you would get on the RC10, which has tons of drums and sort of V-drum style noises in them. But as you heard there, they sound okay. And
they're still better than the RC3, right? So it's upgrade from the RC3.
You have memories in the RC5, which you don't have in the RC1. So you can store your, I think it's 99 memories inside the pedal, and then as many as you want if you connect via the USB thing to your computer. And you have more loop time. So RC1 does 16 minutes of loop time and RC5 does 99 minutes because I got 99 minutes and 99 problems, and looping on my RC5 isn't one of them. That was somewhere in that, is there? I'm pretty sure...
Backing tracks. You can now connect the RC5 to a computer and drop backing tracks onto it. As well, which
you
is
are
really
right.
cool.
So going back to
really
what
cool.
does the RC5 that the do that the RC3 didn't do? So that's the discontinued one. So again, much better quality sound engine, nicer display actually, which I can kind of just quickly plug this cable in here, and you'll see in awesome blue, like the word Boss come up. So it's just easier to use from the display.
Yeah.
Assignable controls, so you can plug another foot switch in and get it to do other stuff. MIDI.
Yeah, MIDI.
M1D1. And apparently via MIDI you can do anything. You can not just start and stops, but you can select which drum kit you want to use. You can adjust tempos, all sorts of stuff.
I'm going to try hooking my Morningstar. I've got the 8 Morningstar 8 and MC8, and you could have 8 switches. Maybe you can get like different. I'm gonna noodle around.
Anyway, and finally, just more drum kits in the RC5 compared to the RC3. So Pete, why don't you build a loop, I know kind of you saw Pete doing that in there, but we'll build a loop, and that's kind of the end of the demo.
Yeah, I mean, it's as simple as it was before. It's just easier to see where you are. The display will now display. You can either choose it to show, record, play, and overdub when you click the switch, or you can have these little blocks, as you might have seen in the intro there, where it actually counts you in, so you can see how many blocks you've done in the beats and how long it's gone underneath. All that simple stuff. So you can change the displays in there, which is really cool. Loads of features. You can write your loop to a memory, so I'm going to try to do that by holding that down.
This is very cool, because of course on the RC-1 and the small Ditto, admittedly on the Ditto Plus you've got memories as well, but on all the entry-level kind of loopers, the concept is that it's one, that's all it can remember, is whatever the last loop that you did was.
So now save that loop we just did in there. You can name it as well if you want.
What would we name that one?
Well, I just named it Memory 1, because it was much easier just to execute it.
And your second album, presumably?
Memory 2. Yeah, it's the difficult second one. You can see the screen is not blue, because that means that clears the water in the ocean when we clear all the plastic out of it. That means that we're back to normal. I just had to get a little bit political on there.
Let's clean up the oceans.
Clean up the oceans.
Yes.
So you've got your drums in there. You can see there's a tempo switch here, which you can sign, and you can do that. You can tap tempo it as well. You know, if you want to use the drums, the drums will then be in here, and if the drums are on, whoa, you can start them. You can also hold it down, go into your level of the drums, turn them down. It goes over 100. Did you know that, Lee?
Over 100?
Yeah, Lee, you can go up to...
Who wants a drummer that's over 100?
You can go to 200, level 200.
Wow.
If he's got a band, maybe, if you can go and get the bass player and the drummer can go separately to the gig...
Come on, let's finish this. Finish this with a nice and easy loop.
Yeah, we don't read the drums because I did drums in the beginning, right?
Fine.
So let's just do an easy loop.
By the way, if you're interested in the new RC-5 octave pedal, I would say probably the best video we've seen of that one is Rabir doing his video. So check out Rabir Massage channel for the RC-5. We're also going to give this to our bass team. So Nathan and Lee on the All About the Bass, they'll have a little noodle around with that. We're just using it for to just literally do an octave down bass sound. And the SY1 is amazingly cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Loads and loads of cool synth sounds.
Just gonna go I'm gonna go ahead and choose an organ in here. So that's fine. Got the octave there. That's fine.
So that's it.
That's it, really. So
honestly, if you can count from 1 to 4 and specifically be able to train your foot to do this on the 1, then you could be looping like Pete Honore. All you need is an RC looper.
Yeah, and that's it.
And
a double denim. And eat, sleep, loop, repeat. And there we go. Thanks for watching. Is that the end?
That's the end.
It's the end. It's the end, okay.